Hi, it's Carmen Weld with Castanet News. I'm here with the brand new MP-elect for Kelowna Lake Country, Stephen Fuhr for the Liberal Party. It was an amazing turnaround last night. A 60-year blue history was changed for the first time. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very excited about it, actually.
Explain that to me. What do you mean excited?
I didn't know which direction this was going to go. I mean, we worked really hard, and 14,000 doors, very close to 14,000 doors, and 7,000 phone calls. So we knew that there was support out there. I just didn't know it was going to come to the table in the numbers that we needed for it to happen. So we were cautiously optimistic this could happen. And with the right people and the right positions on the team, this is a massive team effort and a ton of work. I'm really jazzed about the results.
So last night, it started off that Cannon was in the lead, and then you started creeping, and then you passed. What was that feeling like?
Well, you know what? I think the very first poll, one poll came up, and I think we were 4 votes ahead, from my recollection. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. And then it kind of it was like watching paint dry, because I was sitting there staring at the television forever. And then as 2, 3, 4 polls up to probably 50 or 60 polls came in, yeah, we saw Ron Cannon start to crawl ahead very slowly by 100, another 100. And I want to say, if my memory serves me correctly, he was up by 600 or 700 votes. Yeah. And I was just going, this is not ideal. It's still, we had lots of polls to go, and my campaign manager is very experienced, so he's like, don't sweat it. I mean, we still got a long way to go, and the margin of difference is not that big, so just hang in there. And again, once we saw it turn, though, it never went backwards. Like, we saw polls come in, and it was always a gain or a stalemate, and we just crawled ahead, and I think the final count was about 4,000 votes up. So
this is massively historic for Kelowna area. I mean, this is a 60-year history. Can you speak about what that means to you?
It means to me that the riding was obviously ready for a change. And not just change for the sake of change, but change for a better future or a different future from what they were used to. We visited a lot of seniors' homes in the riding, and it was interesting to note that a lot of the seniors were thinking differently, I'm sure, than they have in the past. They were more concerned about what they were going to leave their kids and grandkids, like environmentally, monetarily, a whole host of things. And I got the impression that the way the boat was sailing under the current government, or the previous government, wasn't what they wanted. So they were certainly open for something different.
I heard from many people at your party last night that this wasn't about anti-Cannon, this was about anti-Harper. What does that speak to it for you? I mean, what does that mean to you? I would agree to the extent that, yeah, Ron's been a really good public servant for this community. The community was very emotionally attached to Ron for a lot of good reasons, but this was not about Ron. This is about Stephen Harper. So I agree. And at the end of the day, people had to make a decision to shed the familiar for the necessary, and that's what they did. So this is going to be your very first term in government. What, are you nervous? Are you excited? I mean, what do you think you're going to be able to get done?
I would say that I'm not necessarily nervous. I am very excited. And I think that we can get a lot done. And the fact that we have a majority government is going to make that a lot easier. I want to see us work with the other parties, because we obviously get the best solutions when we work together. But at the end of the day, if we want to get things done that have to get done, we can do that with a majority. So it'll really be up to the leadership of the party to decide how and when they do that. But certainly, as we demonstrated here, we get the best results when we collaborate, and we can do amazing things that you'd think would never happen when we work together.
Is there something particularly you want to get done for this riding? Like, do you have a goal for your term?
I do. There was a number. I think the Liberals ultimately won based on their fiscal plan moving forward. I mean, we have an economic issue with jobs and growth, and we have a plan that addresses that head on, which the other parties didn't do. And obviously, our economy is kind of what drives everything. It resources us to do everything that we need to do. So investment in infrastructure is huge. Money set aside for tech and research and development, that's huge. And guess what? We're ideally suited for that. I mean, we have some infrastructure issues in Kelowna. Water is a perfect example. It's going to take a lot of money to get that sorted out. It's the city's #1 priority. There's a whole other host of other things that need to be done. And then innovation and tech is another one. I mean, this is just We've got an innovation center opening up down the street here very shortly. We're going to need things to do in there, and there's money set aside for R&D and innovation. So I want to make sure that we get those resources here, so we have something to do in the innovation center.
We heard from Dan Albus the exact same thing: water infrastructure. Does that mean you two are going to be able to work well together?
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to working with Dan. I mean, we work together for the community. Whether he's blue and I'm red, to me that's not that big a deal. But we know that things happen when all levels of government work together. So, municipal, provincial, federal, and and the ridings. This is although I'm representing Kelowna Lake Country, this community is very much interrelated. So yeah, I look forward to working with Dan, and I think together we'll be able to do more than just one of us, us working separately.
So just want to thank our Liberal MP-elect Stephen Fuhr for his time, for sitting down with us the day after winning in the unbeatable riding, it appeared. Thanks so much for tuning into Castanet, and we'll speak more with Stephen Fuhr as the weeks go on.